Do you ever meet someone so entitled that you think they must be living in some alternate reality? Well, buckle up, because that's exactly what happened to me. My neighbor, a classic HO8 type Karen, decided my driveway somehow belonged to her. She didn't just complain, she acted like she owned it. What she didn't realize was that not only did I personally pay for that driveway, also had the legal documents, receipts, and even the contractor's testimony to prove it. In the end, her arrogance didn't just backfire, it landed her in handcuffs. 2 years ago, I moved into what I thought would be my peaceful dream home. It was a nice little property on the edge of a suburban development, close enough to town, but far enough away to enjoy some peace. The home was older, but the lot was perfect. The only thing missing? The proper driveway? The original setup had a short gravel path that barely fit one car, and rain turned it into a muddy mess. So after closing on the house, I spent my first big investment pouring a proper concrete driveway, widened it, added a turnaround section, and even landscaped the edges with brickwork. It cost me a pretty penny, but it was worth it. What I didn't know at the time was that my new neighbor, the woman who'd later earned the title of Karen, believed she had claim to everything that touched her property line the very first time Karen spoke to me was when the construction crew showed up. She stormed over, hands on hips, oversized sunglasses perched on her nose, and demanded to know what was going on. "Excuse me? What are you doing with my driveway?" she snapped. I blinked. "Your driveway. I'm sorry, this is my property. I just bought this house." She scoffed. No. That strip of land belongs to me. You can't just pour concrete wherever you feel like it." The contractor stepped in, showing her the permits I had already secured. "Ma'am, the city approved this build. This is his property." But Karen wasn't convinced. She muttered threats about calling the HOA, even though our houses weren't under one, and she stalked back to her place. At the time, I shrugged it off as nosy neighbor syndrome. Oh, how wrong I was. Once the driveway was finished, the harassment began. Karen started parking her car halfway across the edge of my driveway, claiming she had shared access rights. She blocked my contractors when I had landscaping done. She even told delivery drivers not to pull in, insisting they were trespassing on her property. The final straw came one night when I returned home late from work. Karen's SUV was fully parked in my driveway, not just a little dead center. I knocked on her door, politely asking her to move. Her response? "This is my driveway. Can park on the street like everyone else." I reminded her the title deed clearly marked the land as mine. She crossed her arms and sneered. "You think paperwork means anything? I've lived here longer. That driveway touches my yard, which makes it mine." That's when I realized DI was dealing with an entitled lunatic, instead of yelling back. I decided to get smart. I installed cameras with full coverage of my driveway. Every time she parked there, I recorded it. Every time she yelled at me or harassed workers, I logged it. Meanwhile, I dug out every single document from my house purchase. The official survey map, the property plat, the city permits, and the contractor's receipts all showed the driveway was entirely mine. For good measure, I called the city zoning office. They sent out an inspector who confirmed in writing that the driveway sat 100% on my land. Armed with proof, I was ready. One Saturday morning, things came to a head. Karen had her friends over for some backyard party. When guests ran out of parking, she directed them to use my driveway. I came home to find not one, not two, but 3 cars clogging my driveway. I calmly asked her guests to move. That's when Karen lost it. She called 911 right in front of me. "This man is trespassing on my property. He's harassing my guests. Get the police here immediately." I couldn't help but laugh. She was so confident that the law was on her. Side 2 officers showed up, lights flashing. Karen ran to them dramatically, pointing at me. "There he is. Arrest him for trespassing." The officers turned to me, asking for my side. I handed them the survey documents, the deed, and even pulled up the zoning confirmation on my phone. Then I gestured at the cameras recording everything. "Officers, this is my driveway. I built it. I paid for it. She's been harassing me for weeks." One officer frowned and asked Karen, "Do you have any proof this belongs to you?" Karen waved her arms. "I don't need proof. It's obvious it's connected to my property." The officers shared a look. They walked the property line themselves, saw the clear boundaries, and then came back with a simple verdict. Ma'am, this is not your driveway. If you keep parking here, you could be charged with trespassing yourself. Karen's face went beet red. She sputtered and shouted about favoritism and corruption, but the officers ignored her. They told her guests to move their cars immediately. You'd think that would have ended it. But no, Karen doubled down. 2 nights later, I caught her on camera spray painting a line across the driveway with the words Karen's property in bright red paint. That was it. I filed a formal police report for vandalism and trespassing. When the officers saw the video evidence, they didn't just fine her, they arrested her. Right there on her front lawn, her friends stood in stunned silence as she shrieked about injustice, and this is my neighborhood. Clicked shut. All the same, Karen ended up facing charges for criminal mischief and trespassing. The vandalism alone carried a fine that probably cost more than what she would have spent installing her own driveway. I got a restraining order approved against her, which meant she wasn't legally allowed to come within 20 feet of my property line. From then on, she kept her distance. Word spread quickly in the neighborhood about what happened. Most of the neighbors who'd also suffered from her entitlement in smaller ways actually thanked me for standing up to her. Apparently, she had a long history of bullying, but nobody had ever fought back with hard evidence before. Now, every time I pull into my driveway, I smile a little wider. Not just because it's smooth concrete that I paid for, but because it represents something bigger. No matter how loud or entitled someone is, the truth always wins when you have the receipts to back it up. And for Karen, she went from trying to steal my driveway to earning herself a criminal record, all because she couldn't admit she was wrong. * For more interesting and heart-touching stories, hit the subscribe button now.